Chapter 12. Merchant capital and merchant's profit. Merchant's profit and its source. Merchant and moneylending capital predate industrial capital. These forms of capital were dominant in pre-capitalist societies but become subordinate to industrial capital under capitalism. Industrial capital takes three forms: money capital, productive capital, and commodity capital. These forms become distinct and specialized as capitalism develops. Merchant capital arises from the need to circulate commodities. Industrial capitalists find it more efficient to sell their goods to merchants who specialize in distribution. This allows manufacturers to focus on production and increase their profits. Merchant's profit is a portion of the surplus value created in production. Manufacturers share a part of their profit with merchants in exchange for their services in realizing the value of commodities. Merchant capital exploits commercial workers. Like industrial workers, commercial employees are exploited, with a portion of their labor going towards generating profit for the merchant capitalist. Competition regulates merchants' profit. The rate of profit in merchant capital tends to equalize with the average rate of profit across all sectors of the economy. Merchant capital obscures the source of profit. The process of buying and selling can create the illusion that profit originates in circulation rather than production. Merchant capital exploits consumers. Merchants engage in practices like price gouging, shortchanging, and selling substandard goods to maximize their profits. Merchant capital exploits small producers. Small farmers and artisans are often forced to sell their products to merchants at low prices and by necessities at inflated prices. Costs of circulation. 1. Net costs of circulation. These costs are inherent to the capitalist system and don't add any value to the commodity. They are essentially deductions from the total value created in society and are covered by the surplus value extracted from workers. Examples include expenses related to buying and selling. This includes wages for salespeople, accountants, and other commercial staff, as well as costs associated with keeping accounts, correspondence, and maintaining offices. Expenses arising from competition and speculation, advertising, marketing, and other efforts to promote sales and outmaneuver competitors fall under this category. Net costs are wasteful and unproductive, highlighting the growing expenditure on advertising as evidence of this waste. 2. Costs connected to the extension of the production process. These costs are considered socially necessary and are not specific to capitalism. They involve activities that make the product ready for consumption, such as finishing the product. This could include final processing, quality checks, and packaging. Transporting the product. Getting the goods from the production site to the consumer. These costs add value to the commodity as they involve labor and resources. However, even these necessary costs can become distorted under capitalism. Anarchy of production and crises. Overproduction and economic instability can lead to the accumulation of excessive stocks and inefficient distribution channels, generating unnecessary costs. Competition and speculation. These can lead to wasteful practices like excessive packaging and misleading advertising, further inflating costs. The rising costs of circulation are seen as an indicator of increased parasitism in capitalist society, ultimately burdening consumers. Forms of capitalist trade. Commodity exchanges. Wholesale and retail trade develop alongside capitalist production. Wholesale trade involves transactions between manufacturers and traders, while retail trade focuses on selling goods directly to consumers. Concentration and centralization of capital occurs in trade. Larger capitalists dominate both wholesale and retail trade, driving out smaller competitors. This leads to the growth of large stores, both general and specialized. Commodity exchanges facilitate trade in standardized goods. Exchanges allow for the buying and selling of large quantities of homogeneous goods like cotton, grain, and metals based on samples and established standards. Commodity exchanges are hubs for speculation. Traders on exchanges often buy and sell goods they don't possess, betting on future price fluctuations. This speculative activity is inherent to capitalist trade, which prioritizes profit over meeting social needs. Speculation primarily benefits large capitalists. While speculation can lead to significant profits for large players, it often results in the ruin of smaller traders. Credit and installment plans are prevalent in capitalist trade. These practices can trap consumers in debt, forcing them to surrender their possessions to creditors. They can also be used to sell inferior or unwanted goods. Foreign trade capitalism is inherently linked to global trade. The development of capitalism is intertwined with the expansion of commodity exchange beyond national borders. Foreign trade is essential for capitalist nations. Capitalists pursue foreign trade to increase profits. They seek new markets for their goods and sources of raw materials, driven by the limitations of the domestic market and the pursuit of higher profits. Foreign trade has grown dramatically under capitalism. The volume of global trade has increased exponentially, reflecting the expansion of the international division of labor and the growth of productive forces. Foreign trade allows developed countries to exploit less developed ones. Developed capitalist countries can sell manufactured goods at higher prices and buy raw materials at lower prices in less developed countries, leading to economic domination and the expansion of spheres of influence. The balance of trade reflects the relationship between exports and imports. An active trade balance indicates that exports exceed imports, while a passive balance means imports are greater than exports. The balance of payments provides a more comprehensive picture of economic relations. It encompasses all payments between countries, including trade, investments, and financial transactions. Capitalist states adopt different foreign trade policies. Free trade promotes open markets, while protectionism uses measures like tariffs to shield domestic industries from foreign competition.